Templar 3-7 and Jenkins guide you through this incredible match.
Well, I'll roll for that again. Cool game. You know, you were talking a little bit about Bumblebees not playing against Zoomers and Undying. I actually talked with Moonmeander for this tournament, and he was telling me, hey, don't sleep on Eternal Envy. I'm not sure they actually played against him like it's something, but he just said don't sleep on Eternal Envy. You know, and then I'm like, you know what? Yeah, you're right.
What a mess!
They're like one game away from the grand finals, and I'm wondering if Undying are maybe a little bit worried too, playing against a team that they have less knowledge about. They would be playing against Zoom, because I'm pretty sure they want to play the Zoom.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you that they would want to play the Zoomers. They've beaten them in so many tournament best of fives. Like, they're used to the same smoke. Zoomers again? Okay.
He planned to work too. They actually saw that. Whoa, okay. High ground bushwhack. King out is actually walking in there. Gonna use the stun off the Alchemist. They focus on the Alchemist now. Ryoya. Who's gonna die first? It's gonna be Ryoya. That's gonna be first blood for the Zoomers. Sammy Boy is gonna take the fall to King out. Kind of low here. Oh, second bushwhack comes out. King out. He is super dead. Rax gonna get the double kill. That's a great start for Rax right now. Z-Freak is just out of there. You know, you said it, they do it again, but this time it works out well for them, and they get the D-Ward too.
Yeah, that's huge. That's huge. So they go around in a different direction. They deboard the hill as well as place their own ward this time. So that's interesting that they basically do the exact same thing, and then they think like, okay, well, you beat us last time with this, but we know how to counterplay. I mean, it absolutely worked. Like Alchemist getting first blood, or an Alchemist team getting first blood, is not something that you see very often.
Yeah, and Acid Spray, you know, he did scale that up. That is something that you see more of nowadays. Speaking of Alchemist, though, wait, how many bounties? They got 3 bounties, obviously. What do you do now without, like, considering there's so much left?
I really prefer the Radiance build, and I think versus TA Medusa, you don't really want to just scale and go into the late game. Like, you're not going to outfarm both of these heroes if they have a decent amount of map control. They're going to outcarry you. So I think like a mid-game sort of tempo build with like Radiance, BKB, AC, that sort of thing, Blink would be really solid here. And that is what I see people going on Alph whenever they do pick it in like high-level pubs these days. But it's been a long time since I've seen Sammy Boy play out.
We're gonna keep a close eye, definitely, because that's hero in this draft for Zoomers. In terms of the lane itself, it looks like Sammy Boy should be able to farm. Oh, he's kind of getting stunned up though, and there's a lot of right click damage. Well, we'll see how they fare in the lane. Let's take a look at the other lanes. Gunner, Invoker versus Templar Assassin. Something that has been historically like a common lane, right? People take TA into the Invoker. You think NT has changed in recent times?
No, not much of a mid laner myself, but I gotta say, every time I see a matchup with like Invoker versus something that Invoker's supposed to lose like horribly to, it just doesn't go that way anymore. Like, I think people have gotten a lot better at their spell casting, like securing range creeps with Tornado, like throwing out the kind of chip harass and just pressing spells in order to secure CS. So it's not as bad as it once was, but TA definitely will out-farm an Invoker once she does go to the jungle. And I think once you get level 6 on TA, Invoker has to lead, but he's kind of okay with that. You know, Waswak's Invoker, he wants to rotate anyway, so yeah, not as bad as it used to be, definitely.
Whoa. Now the top lane then, this is the Axe with 2 kills to start the lane. Only has 4 last hits at the moment though. There's a double wave going into MB. MB has 5 denies in this lane so far. How would you feel if you're an offlaner starting the game with 2 kills?
I would feel pretty good. That's some components to the Vanguard. Once you get that, Axe becomes significantly better. You can tank entire tower shots and take literally 0 damage. It's very convenient. Up until that point, Medusa definitely seems like a bit of a struggle for Axe to deal with. Like, you're just going to get constantly snaked and be low HP. Even with the regen of Ring of Health, she'll keep you low enough that you have to be worried that if I step a little bit too far up, I'm going to die to this Abba, Curse of Avernus, or Venom.
He's already sneaking them down. does not even care. He notices Envy's wave is right in front of his tower. He just goes for the Mountain Runes, takes that gold away from the Alchemist. It's the little things like that that's like making Bumblebees so efficient.
Yeah, look at these sentries in the top lane too. They sentry their own easy camp, the enemy hard camp, and then the ancients as well. So there's no stacking
So
gonna
nice.
happen. Oh well, I guess if you just die in lane.
What just happened?
He just can't afford to use that shield right before the battle hunger comes up. Very unfortunate there for Moon.
Think you would?
Stacks is still kind of low though. Does look like he's gonna rush that back.
That'll let him play the lane against heroes and pressure the Medusa a little bit. With the Hoodwink, you can probably do a decent amount of pressure. You do good damage. The unfortunate thing is Abba, though, taking off the Battle Hunger with shield. That's a pain. Because that's your pressure spell.
Well, we'll be back to this lane soon. The Axos is back, right? Alchemist, big boy that we're looking at, getting stunned up right now, bottom, getting his mana drained. That's going to be very annoying for Sammy. But actually, they're trying to turn this around with that Arctic Burn level 2. By Husky, he's not off for a point in Cold Embrace. Decent amount of damage, but you know, Dragon Blood. What a broken ability. 8 regen, 6 armor. Sammy though, but he is still free. 26 left.
Yep, I gotta say, okay. Stun on Z-Free. He's not even gonna go for it. I do not miss the days of Alchemist carry in every single game in NA. Because what would happen is you think you can kill him. Just like this, maybe they can kill him.
Okay. Nah, they got level 4 just then on Husky. That one last beat actually gave the heal. So
What just happened?
not a lot of mana on Sammy as he's getting drained.
Yeah, this is every Alch lane. You think, oh, this is gonna be a snooze fest, right? They're gonna be farming, but then
Sorry, go on with the Alch. It's gonna be a snooze fest.
you think it's gonna be a snooze fest, but then the team against Alch is like, well, we have to pressure him, and then Alch is like, okay, you want to stand in acid spray? Let's go. And then they just Mortal Kombat fight to the death, and ironically, this is kind of the most action-packed lane, is the one with Alch in it, even though it shouldn't be.
Exactly. This acid spray is just incredibly strong. Laning stage and trying to do that. And speaking of Dragon Knight, though, hold on. He's gonna take a little bit more damage. He's got that range up, 11 wand charges. He's gonna be the main target. That hero does not have a whole lot of armor. Sitting inside the acid spray, and they're gonna get the kill on Sammy boy.
Every time. This is what
Top
happens.
lane. Hang on, Gunner. He made a big rotation. Level 6. Oh, not gonna nail Muto. No, Envy, he gets his TP cancelled.
Top tower is under
Look at
attack.
disaster. If he dies here, he's not gonna be able to get back to the top lane. And Zoomer making the first move in game. Killing spree on Brax now. The catapult is still alive
Dire's
too.
top tower
Moon,
is
he's
under
trying his
attack.
best to get out of here. But, or at least trying to get his catapult killed off, but it's not gonna be able to do anything. Dies too.
Great rotation.
Tower looks super dead. Yeah, it really is. At mid lane, though, Ryoya with the catapult himself gonna try to apply some pressure.
Dire's top tower
Husky has
is under
already
attack.
TP'd into this lane. Zoomers, they're covering each other on this map at the moment, making
Radiant's
sure
middle tower
that
is under
Bumblebee's
attack.
momentum is going to be reduced at least. Oh, this is looking so good by them. I think this aggression is exactly what we've been looking forward to.
Yeah, and I mean, Alchemist, Sammy's so happy while all of this is happening too, and Ryoya not popping the double damage to chip away at that mid tower here. I thought he was going to, but he's giving a lot of respect to the potential rotation out of Gunner, because I believe he walked up towards the top lane, so he had a TP available, and with Husky TPing in as well, he was very afraid that there was going to be some counter rotation, and that whole dive top was happening while the catapult was hitting the tower, and Brax was tanking the tower with his Vanguard, so the catapult didn't die, so they get a free tower trade. Alch's tower has literally 0 damage on it bot. He is getting done. I personally do feel like makes sense just for the timing that you want to hit in this game. I think if you go to like the 35+ minute mark against like maybe 30-minute plus mark against like Ti10 Medusa, and that's your timing.
Move. Gonna get the pulse snapped and Arctic burned here. The urn, and he's gonna be alive now. Gunner getting slowed up, just gonna use his ghost walk and get out of there. Yeah, I think you're right. The radius, especially against the Templar assassin, is been so good. Oh, Zephyr, he actually finds Sammy under this ward. Sammy's so tanky.
He just got level 6
Radiant's
too.
bottom tower is under
Off
attack.
that one creep. Oh, they get him. That is not what you want to see versus an Alchemist.
Yeah, sorry about that. I had
Radiant's bottom
a
tower
little,
is under attack.
okay, Medusa top lane right here. Actually
Radiant's
getting...
courier
Oh, yeah,
has
he's out
been
of
killed.
mana on Envy. He also doesn't
Radiant's
have a
bottom
TP.
tower is under
Super
attack.
dead, isn't he?
He is definitely dead. He gets a courier, which
Trying to get the range creep.
oh my, he gets Braxtonized the range creep as well. Oh, that's good. That's yeah. You know, I was going to say at the start of this game, talking a lot about how
Radiant's
Bumblebees are
bottom
going to win
tower
this
has
and how
fallen.
Zoomers like we're worried for them, but every series they've played in, they've lost the first game and then won the entire series. So maybe there's not as much of an element of needing to mentally come back as we were hyping up, just because they've done it so many times in this exact tournament.
And that makes a lot of sense here. Boy, we're just getting pressured just a little bit by Ryoya. There's the heal. And look at the mid lane right now. This is what Zoomers are really doing. This is their play. They want to start pressuring up this mid tower. Moo, he's getting bushwhacked. He's got his shield off already. Level 5 looks pretty dead to me. There is some Culling Blade available. They will get the kill. Gunner, he's under a sentry. Even if he does Ghost Walk right... Okay, there we go. He's going to dodge that.
Radiant's
attack.
bottom tower is
Gonna
under
get
attack.
out of there, forcing bees out of the bottom jungle, and that's gonna give so much more space for Sammy. So I love the play there from Husky, just playing with Sammy and then making the mid play, forcing Bone Bees out of bottom. They're just salting everywhere.
Okay, I gotta point this out. Look at the mid lane. Look at this Sunspan image.
Yup.
Oh, never mind. Ping out. He's getting his mana drain. Okay, back to what's more important. Look at this Sunspan image. And look at his mouth on the flag as it moves around in the wind.
Yeah.
It is grotesque. You can't see it. Wait. Oh, there it is. There it goes. Look at you can just see his mouth smiling. Oh my god, that is horrific. Why were sprays invented? Oh, there they go. It's gone.
Radiant's middle tower is under
It's
attack.
timed out. It's gone.
I'm sorry, I couldn't.
We're good.
I couldn't handle that.
That's alright. I actually wanted to ask you a question. This Medusa and TA combo, right? There's a lot of ancient combos with both of these. Do you think that's a problem? Because one of the reasons why I feel like Gunner was able to make that rotation to top and there was no retaliation from Bumblebees is because of this Templar assassin.
Definitely. Usually, the idea, okay, as Sammy Boy, getting harassed a little bit by Ryoya, this is what he needs to do. This is actually really nice from him. He is not necessarily like a ganking presence. He is a presence that can like walk into a jungle and just steal your farm from you. And there's going to need to be a response coming in. So I'm glad that he's doing it now. Maybe he didn't feel comfortable doing this earlier. And now that he's got some items and levels, he's cool with this. But you definitely need to pressure like this because there's no way that Medusa and TA can both farm Ancient. It literally just doesn't make any sense. So the TA needs to take aggressive farm, or the Medusa needs to take aggressive farm at one point. But Medusa against Quaswex Invoker, I think it's more likely TA is going to be.
And now Brax has his Blink Dagger. He's actually smoking into the bottom side. Like you said, you want to see Zoomers make a reaction to this Templar Assassin running into your jungle. They want to make a play here, kick them out, give Alchemist back his camps. But Alchemist did have another play as well, which was taking that safe farm. Double stacking for himself right now. Misses the small camp though, unfortunately, but that's alright. He's getting very close to that relic.
Dire's top tower is
They
under
need to
attack.
deward this. There's a sentry on the Ancients, this low ground sentry blocking the Ancient spawn, and usually when you're up here,
That's so good.
it's a really nice sentry. Usually it's
really is.
Sammy Boy, when you're up here farming in this pattern, like you want to back off to your Ancients after the enemy team rotates to deal with you, and the creeps that are pushing in,
Dire's
as you
middle
can see
tower
right now.
is under attack.
Jenkins,
Radiant are
there's a smoke
scanning.
right now with
Yeah.
the Blink DK. And look at Sammy Boy. He doesn't even kill off the small little golem. He just leaves them there. You know how juicy those golems are for Alchemist?
Oh yeah. Oh, he was looking at those. They scanned it, so whoever did that scan was that was a beastly scan. I'm gonna take a wild guess and say it wasn't Sammy Boy, because he really likes to die to rotations like that. But It's a great scan nonetheless. He takes shots at me all the time.
Well, now he's got the relic, and that was only fortunate because he does not die to that smoke play from the bumblebees. And the bumblebees, they're okay farming with the TA and the Medusa, but they must be feeling the pressure of that first off play.
Yeah, that timing is seriously strong. Like, even though, if, you know, hypothetically you 6-slot both of these lineups, like, probably at least like Alk versus Dusa TA, you're not going to win that matchup for sure. It's still like Alk's going to hit his timing of Radiance and be much stronger than almost anything that you can muster at that point. Unless, like, you're constantly pressuring Alk. But Sammy Boy hasn't really been pressured this game, and when they did make the rotation to get him, he scouted it out. He knew it was happening, so they haven't been able to get him. He is on a ward, though.
Bottom right now, too. He is, but the Gunner is actually going ahead of Sammy Boy, breaking the smoke from Gunner. He sees himself getting hit, but he's baiting this out right now. Braxton's a blink dagger. He's waiting for the call first, and then, sorry, the shield. And now they're going to call onto the TA. Braxton gets stuck in Invoker, getting stunned. Also in the back line, oh, finger comes out. The heal not going to be able to save Gunner, and now it looks like Bumblebee's there on the offensive just a little bit, but they're going to
Radiant's middle tower
that
is
mid
under
tower.
attack.
That's what King Al wants to go to. Do a little bit of
Radiant
chip damage there.
structures are
So they don't get the out kill, but they do get that position to Invoker instead.
Yeah, that's really important because he's kind of controlling everything in this game. Like, even though he's not doing like significant amounts of damage, if you mana drain these targets such as like TA, ABBA, DK, you don't need to kill them. They're effectively dead because they have such low mana pools that they need to cast their spells to be useful. So getting this mid tower though for King RD, it's really important, I think, that Bumblebees takes this tower, because then it means that wherever Alk is farming, whether it's in his own triangle or in his own jungle, like, you have an access point to smoke and go get him. Because right now, Sammy feels so safe farming up in this top lane because he always has the
bottom. They're gonna blow him up. They gotta get out though right now. King out. He's made the TP in, stunning up Gunner. Gunner got plenty of mana. He's gonna drop the EMP at the moment.
They're sacking him.
That ghost walk up. Yeah. He's just gonna use the ice wall, buy as much time as he can. They know that 3 heroes TP bottom, so they got a little bit more space for Sammy to finish that Radiance. It's actually on the way already. But the question is now, Jenkins, where do they make their first play with this move? Because in my opinion, I don't think you get a Radiance. I think you should try to utilize that insane Radiance timing to make at least one fight happen and then go back to farm.
Radiant's middle tower
Yeah,
is under
I totally
attack.
agree. At the very least, like, farm more aggressively where you can
Dire's
actually
top
make
tower
moves
is
if an
under
opportunity
attack.
presents itself. Like, don't go back to the triangle and hit creeps there, for example. Like, play somewhere near this mid lane. Maybe he waits for, like, Sange before he goes. Maybe a Blink Dagger. I know that used to be the timing, like Radiance Blink. Sometimes it was Radiance Blink BKB, but soon we want to see him making a move for sure. It's like one more item to max before they make a move. Maybe he just wants to farm these stacks first, and then he's okay. There's enough gold. Let's go.
My concern is when you make a lot of space like this for Alchemist, and he doesn't use that network
Dire's
to build
middle
up
tower
his
is
fight,
under attack.
and the opponent is also farming quite a lot. Like, if you notice on Bumblebees, they were kind of being restricted on the map in the early game, especially with the TA use of overlap on the A. But Zoomers have not been able to continue on with that pressure. They've been lacking their carry, joining fights, or like at least taking some objectives.
Yeah, that's true. And all of this time when, like, the rest of Zoomers are kind of trying to negate the Bumblebees taking over their jungle, it's like Sammy Boy's farming, so he's kind of the only one that's getting the benefits of all of this, like, fighting that's happening, all the space is being created for him. So it looks like, yeah, he is going to go with the Sange timing. This does make sense. It's such an efficient item, and it's so cheap that I can understand wanting to farm it before going for a play.
Locked up, going into their Radiant jungle, trying to find possibly a Templar assassin or maybe a Medusa, but it looks like they're already going to get out, as Husky did have to kill the ward.
Still decent from Zoomers, though, pushing them out of farming Zoomers jungle, because Alk has strength, and at the very least, they're, like, asserting that strength and being like, hey, you need to leave. Like, you cannot be farming here now that Alk is this strong. Maybe we won't kill you, but we'll certainly push you out of here.
they're gonna go for the mid-tier tower. And King Out gonna pop his Elden Dragon form. There's gonna be a little bit of spells being casted on him, but the Aphotic Shield gonna remove all that pressure. Stun comes out, but they're gonna Radiance.
Dire's middle tower
Alp
has
is just
fallen.
a little too strong for Bumblebee.
Radiant's
Plus
top
the
tower
Medusa
is
is
under
nowhere
attack.
near ready yet. Actually, speaking of Medusa, okay, going for the stun. And King Out is going to be able to get out with the Alchemist. Brax does go in with the call just to make sure that the Abaddon is still behind this DK.
Oh, he dodges.
Stun. Stuns Gunner instead, but they don't really have any damage. 4 heroes of course. Consumers are still here. The heal comes out, the finger, not going to be able to pick off Gunner. Now they're going to drop that Winter's Curse. Oh, very nice sharpshooter. He's going to fall, pulling off the Lion. King Out now, going to be able to kill the Invoker. Ryoya coming in with the haste plus the blink dagger. This is a very strong Templar assassin at this stage of the game. Now they're looking at Husky. I heard Sammy Boy actually gets stunned back.
Radiant's
and
middle
Husky,
tower is
going
under
down.
attack.
Nope, gonna be able to. Not gonna be able to get away. Sammy Boy stunned himself, didn't he?
He did. He was going for a wraparound,
Okay.
and then King
Dire's
RD
bottom tower is under
blinked away,
attack.
had a little bit of vision from ward that is now deported by Ocean. Oh, no, never mind. He just gets the sentry. They still have the vision of the observer wards just at a sentry range. That'll be an important, really important ward because both of these teams are pretty strong at taking Roshan. You have TA versus Alchemist.
Yeah.
Tons of minus armor. Solar Crest, too.
What was it, me, or was that a really weird TP from the His teammates are all there, and it's just like keeping in front of the opponent and give them an opportunity to take an engagement. So that's awesome because it could be still a fight there. Ryoya gonna get called, and then comes a bushwhack. Z-Big also going in with the blink. He's got all his mana burn now. Templar Assassin getting very low. Mood desperately trying to keep him alive right now, but it's not gonna be enough. That radiance just burning away. King Out, but the focus now. It does come up, but I don't think King Out is gonna get away with this, especially if he's standing on an ice wall. Super dead. Drax gets healed up too. Really good resources on to that Winter Wyvern and the maxed out Cold Embrace. And they can just continue on with their assault on this map right now. Sam Boy gonna get that illusions, push out some lanes, and yep, they're going for the Roshan like we called it.
And that's kind of the fight that we expected at first, but Bumblebees just, especially King RD, played the initial fight really well, and what we just saw there is kind of more along the lines of what we expected for this timing, especially with Brax getting Ryoya right at the start. TA against all of these heroes. There's so much to deal through the refraction. And you can take off the Abba shield with the tornado too, so there's absolutely no way they can look out there.
The perfect jump, right?
Yep.
By Brax, the best target that you can go on. Ryoya, he needs to
Opposed
be
taking the occasional bounty.
killing off the supports in the back. He can't really do that if he's main focus in the team fights. Very well played there. Aegis on the Alchemist now. Medusa, how are we looking on the envy? We haven't really looked at him. He's got a butterfly.
Butterfly.
How do you feel about this build?
Got Sanj and Yasha Butterfly.
Dire are
It looks like Sammy Boy's already preemptively like thinking that this is exactly what the build is going to be from Envy because he has a Monkey King bar queued up. I do think Alk is one of the better heroes versus Butterfly just because his attack speed is so high that whenever you build into like an MKB, the raw damage that comes from the procs is amplified. Like, you know, he's not really a Daedalus builder. He's more of these like Mjolnir MKB type builder. And so already MKB is good on Alex. But Butterfly is just such an efficient item in general. Like, it's been buffed so many times. It's so cheap. I don't blame him for building this. Even just for farming, like he's farming really quickly with it.
It's good. There's a lot of right clicks. Game. You can see right now Sammy Boy sitting around the mid lane, and we got Gunner pushing top. They're trying to control up 2 lanes. But Bumblebee's making a correct play, getting Envy to shove the bottom lane out. You don't really want to fight into Aegis at the moment. So Zoomers most likely should be able to get a free tier 2 tower out of this.
I'm not sure how you fight into Aegis Alpha right now with Invoker Alacrity. I think Zoomers can run around and take every tower. It's really a question of how can Bumblebees...
Oh, hold on. It's not just a tier 2. They're going to the high ground with this. Rage is gonna end
Radiant's
though.
bottom tower
He has some
is under
stuns on
attack.
it. But you know what's so good about this lineup of Zoomers? This Winter Wyvern is actually countering most of Bumblebee's heroes. with that
Radiant's
golden
middle
range.
tower is
They
under
don't
attack.
really have a way to reduce the healing. And Alp, who has naturally high strength, with the items that he buys as well, is going to get healed for a lot. Plus the Templar Assassin and Medusa won't be able to do anything.
Yeah, that's 100% true. Like, the only hero that really benefits from the Cold Embrace, putting somebody like in a stationary position, is Lion, but that's your best option. It's not like a Timbersaw or a Leshrac that can do all this like crazy AoE damage. Yeah, definitely great Wyvern game, and Husky has been so patient too, not getting picked off at all, just sitting in the trees, getting those Cold Embraces off. Amplified by Song as well. That is some
Dire's middle
godforsaken
tower
reason.
has fallen. Radiant's bottom
It is,
tower
and
is
my
under
feeling
attack.
in this game is that Bumblebees can never actually burst Sammy Boy. Where in some other games, like, that's what you're looking for, is be able to burst the Alchemist one time when he gets somewhere all by himself because of that Cold Embrace. If you touch Sammy Boy and he's not ultied, all Husky has to do is Cold Embrace him and he's going to be able to get that Chemical Rage off, and that's the fight.
Yeah, you're definitely right. It's like this question of he will always have the option to get it off eventually. Tornado.
Oh. They actually were looking for Envy here, but at the same time, they're going on King out. They're not letting him blink away. He's gonna be the target now. Walking close, and Moon's gonna get called because he got a little too close. Brax was so patient with that, waiting for the backup. And a Bloody Syndrome might actually lose Bumblebees a lot more than they expected.
Dire's top tower is under
Sammy
attack.
Boy going straight to the high ground. They also know that the Medusa doesn't have a Stone Gaze.
I mean, this is the best possible thing for the out timing you could hope
Dire's
for.
top tower has fallen.
Aegis, Assault Dress, going high ground.
That is so annoying with the charge. But Envy, he's gonna get stunned up. He doesn't have an escape with the Stone Gaze. He's gonna stand there and fight. Sammy gonna get Cold Embrace there. Gonna try to walk out. King Al did buy back. Does have the Aegis available. Curse on to Royoya, who is BKB. That's probably the best curse target. Wasting that 9-second BKB of Royoya there. He's gonna back off, so they don't get the racks, but they got the DK buyback. In some situations, you would call that a little bit better, right? I mean, at some point, Zoomers are gonna be able to one-shot this phase with that Alacrity Alchemist. They just wanna get those kills, get those buybacks out of the way, wait for the next.
Yeah, I agree. I think the lane control that you would get through taking a barracks is not really all that important when you have an Alp who's going to be soaking up all the lane farm. You have Mantis style on Axe who's going to be cutting creeps. Wyvern with Splinter Blast has some sort of lane clear and Hoodwink. So yeah, you don't care that much. It's more so about just getting a resource advantage by pressuring that high ground and threatening base, like getting that buyback, even forcing out things like the Medusa Stone Gaze, forcing out the fortification. Like, these are all really important. Because like you said, at some point, Alk is just going to start hitting your base, and you have to fight. It's not going to be about killing buildings. It's going to be about killing heroes, because if you don't kill them, then they kill your building.
And now that the DK did die there, sorry, buy back there, he's going to feel very scared to be able to join fight, go in first, which is what you want your Dragon Knight to do.
Yeah, exactly. That's his play. You know, he's the pickup hero. Like, it's, well, I mean, they've Lion too, so that does help, but primarily DK that's going in first usually, and taking that dynamic out of the fight, it gets very awkward.
Radiant's bottom
Standoff
tower
right here.
is under attack.
Sammy Boy, he wants to go in. He doesn't have the Aegis anymore. It did time out earlier. But he's got Husky playing right behind him. Like, he has no fear as long as Husky's there.
Like, he's carving Aegis.
Envy. Oh, Paul comes out after the bushwhack. Moo comes in with the shield. Oh my god, most of that mana is burned thanks to the Cataclysm from the Invoker. Z-Freak standing his ground. For the mana drain. Sammy Boy, he's gonna walk out of there. I think they're gonna be happy with getting this Stone Gaze out of Envy. And they know they're playing for Roche. He needs this Aegis. Oh, he just got the MK.
Also, taking all of the Angle farm, it's kind of the only safe haven left for Bumblebees to farm, and this forces them into their jungle if they want to hit creeps, and that's kind of an awkward place to be. I mean, I suppose they want to play near Roche anyway, but it's You know, taking over that enemy triangle, so you just cut both waves, and all of a sudden, like they're stuck in their base.
It's like asserting your dominance. You feel Bumblebee that now Zoomers just took it without really committing too many things. I guess Cataclysm was like their biggest committal spell there, but that's gonna be up to.
I do like this build though from Envy that kind of saved him in that previous fight. Going for the Aghanim Shard on Medusa, there was like one single target spell that was cast on him, and he got. I think it might have been Gunner that he had mana drain, so he was able to get like 30-40% of his mana back, and that made him survive through the Cataclysm.
Dire's bottom tower is under
I
attack.
actually noticed that in the last fight. That's a very good point you make. Very rare to see Medusa
Radiant's top tower is under
the
attack.
big items, right?
Yeah.
And now he's gonna have a Scotty too, so that's gonna really help against the Alchemist plus the Winter Wyvern for the race. Reduce the healing. And Envy, he still doesn't have
Radiant's
it.
top tower is
Courier
under
to bring
attack.
it to him. He's using it on the Radiant Secret Shop. Flying over. If Sammy Boy actually intercepts this courier, that would be an absolute disaster for Bumblebee.
He's sending a very safe path. He's not risking it.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
He knows Sammy Boy's the type of player to just go right into that jungle and start to creep. So he's like, I can't send it through that jungle. Courier's taking an alternate path.
And now they're gonna smoke up. They got their item timings. Royoya, he's got 3,000 gold, but can't afford to wait with the Roshan. Now. Players don't know when it's gonna be up. We know it's gonna be at least a minute.
Awkward standoff. Oh, Envy. He's right in there.
Boy. Picking up the high gun. Sees Envy first. Envy does have that stone gaze available. Very close by. Ready for that aphotic shield. They just slowly take like Kingo actually blinks in. He wants to go for Ocean. Axe gets the call. Onto the Dragon Knight. Now they're going to turn on the Dragon. The Dragon does not have a buyback. And he's picked up. It's a 4 versus 5 now. Axe is going to get healed up too. Envy's actually standing his ground here. Going to use Stone Gaze. That's going to make Zoomers want to walk away from this fight just a little bit. Husky waiting to use that Winter's Curse. But I think his main target is going to be the Templar Assassin's BKB. And now with that Stone Gaze down, I think 4 Zoomers are ready to go into this jungle, take this area over. The Bumblebees have to respect that and get the hell out of there. Roshan is up and fighting. Oh, Lion. Yep. He's got tornadoes. Z3 gonna get pushback and picked off. And now that's gonna be a 3 versus 5. I don't think Bumblebees are gonna be able to protect this Roshan in any way now. The trap in there gives them the information that it is up. I assume Husky is gonna go in there and check it out.
Yeah, you would assume so. Okay, Ocean.
Oh,
Ocean. What are you doing?
What are you doing?
Acorn shot? You could. Come on. Come on.
No.
Oh, it's so he can acorn shot from farther and check the road.
The jungle has everything it's
they just
desired.
missed. Okay, they're not even checking Roshan.
Get in there. Squirrels going caves.
Guys,
all the time.
This is your win condition right here.
There we go.
Okay, now they've noticed it, but it's 15 seconds too late, and Lion and Dragon Knight are gonna be up now. So Bumblebees, all of a sudden, they realize they have the potential to actually defend this Roshan take from
Dire are
Zoomers.
scanning.
Yes, they smoke for it. Oh, the
That's a
debate.
missed opportunity.
They're baiting.
I see that.
Envy walks in, maybe senses it's a bait, maybe doesn't care. Face checks it. Yeah, nobody's there.
And that's another standoff now, right? For both these teams. Zoomers, the pressure's on. I'll tell you one thing, Jake. The only time I ever sweat during a game, okay, is when I'm standing off on Roche.
The classic Roche anxiety. That's what that is. Yeah, I know. I feel that. It's the randomness of it too doesn't help either.
Pubs, I don't care. Oh, look at this trap dude. They know this Alchemist has started this. Just gonna walk in there, just show his face, be like, yo, I know you guys are doing this. And he's telling his team, guys, don't fight, I'm just gonna scare them and we're gonna back off and we're gonna keep on farming. Because Bumblebees, they can't take Roshan themselves unless they wipe the boost. Taking it very slow. Spent a lot of time in this area right now. Brax, he's farming it up. Bottom side, he's got a Manta. He can send that middle and bottom if he needs to. No problem.
travels as well, so he's more than happy to be farming out these side lanes. He's not feeling the anxiety.
He is. He really is. In fact, he's very chill with this. Anyway, actually pops his chemical rage now. Shiva's coming out, slowing down the Medusa. They're gonna go on her, but she's got plenty of mana right now. Just right, yeah. Being very patient. King out, not gonna get cursed off. Very tanky though, feels the second call comes out. Now King out is super dead. No buyback still. Brax is automatic. So he's very slow there. Gonna get the golden brace on him. He's being healed. Medusa now lying. Also very low. He's gonna even hit anybody else but everybody. That's gonna be enough to bring him down. And he's got so much HP. He's gonna get the Aegis destroyed and speed. So he's good to go. Decrease. Gonna be the focus now. Sammy boy, they're not gonna be the king. Oh no! What a disaster for the bumblebees here. Zoomers don't lose anything, and they get every single opponent on Roshan. They're gonna go down the mid lane.
Two things. Number one, Sammy's very good at microing his inventory and picking up Roche stuff. I gotta say, that's 2 games in a row. He's gotten literally everything. It's actually not the easiest thing to do. And then number two, Zoomers, the way that they have been playing fights in this game has been spectacular. Like, they're constantly protecting their backline. Sammy Boy, you can see, if he went for the backline there, but then realized he was walking away from his team, and so he backs off, and then they actually kill Envy because they're together. They didn't just let Brax die when it looked like he was about to die because Husky was in position. The reason Husky's not dying is because Sammy's protecting him, and so it all comes together to make this absolutely fantastic team fight that feels impossible to fight into if you're the bees right now.
Dire's top barracks has fallen.
They got overpressed off with the Lacry on him, annihilating these buildings. This is what we were talking about earlier. Like, at some point, this Alk is just going to destroy through everything as long as they win the team fight. And yeah, this cold embrace. How do you deal with it? I feel like this is the #1 problem for bumblebees in this.
I think Wyvern's
can't kill anyone.
I think Wyvern's legit the best hero in Dota. I mean, maybe. No, you know what? That's not even a bold claim. I'm not gonna say it's bold because it's not. I legit think it's the #1 hero in Dota. Healing. There's too many builds that work on him. Disengage from Winter's Curse. This is a huge element to like how people are playing Dota right now. Great at laning, great at pushing out lanes, great in the late game. You literally just turn the entire enemy team against one guy. I mean,
it looks exceptionally good this game because of the high amount of input. Right? Oh, Medusa's Stone Gate tornadoed up, so they're gonna buy a little bit of time to get numerous heroes nearby. Oh, hold on. Sammy Boy clicked BKB. He's gonna put that into his back. Yeah, they did okay. Look at that. That's through backdoor protection. Double damage, backdoor solar crash. Followed by Rax. How do we stop this guy? Thinking I was like, should I blink stun it? Wait, my blink stun, hold on, I can't do that. If I get too close, Radiance won't burn me. Yep, now they're gonna stun him up here. This is the second to last range Rax. There is still one more Rax outside. Rax jumps the line as he sees them. And now, Royoyo is gonna have to blink out. Horrible fight once again for the bumblebees. Eternal Envy without smoking is pulled up by the ice wall. Shielding the ice wall up to the aquatic shield. So they're gonna just, try to poke at her a little bit. Buying time for Sandboy to get that top Rax. That's their real objective. Deeply buys back here. Drains the mana off the Alchemist. The Alchemist does have an Aegis available. So he's gonna come back alive. He can be killed in his backpack though. Sandboy gets his chemical rage off. 2 hits left on that range rack. He wants it so bad. He gets the cheese off and the out of there. There goes Brax. Cost Envy. Envy's gonna get onto Brax though, so Sandboy will be able to walk away from that. Now level 25 on the Medusa, so Scotty effect now going on to every single hero there. Husky gonna drop the Winter's Curse on this in the middle of the fight. He's gonna maybe sacrifice himself here so his team can get out. Sammy Boy trying to walk away from this. TP's out, King out, any stuns? Nope. None available. Oh shit. Are gonna take the fall here, but that's okay. It's just 2 supports. They get all of Bumblebee's Raxes and Eternal Envy. What does he say now?
Defend the base. That's what he says. He is in the zone. This is exactly what the plan was for him all along. He is Medusa, the best Mega Creeps clearer in the entire game of Dota. if you were to count out Eternal Envy at this point, I would say that there is clinically something wrong with you, because he is the man who has played in these games more than anybody else on this planet Earth. Maybe twice the next guy.
Probably very true. And you know what? He ain't giving up. He knows that there's still the potential to come back and Dota Plus. What does Dota Plus say there? What percentage is that? 98% for Radiant team to win this game. It's not the envy factor.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
Zoomers aren't stupid though. Like anybody in the NA region, you've played against this guy all the time in your pubs. If he's not dropping his items and beating down mid at 15 minutes, it's going to go the whole way. 60 minutes into the game, he is an expert at this. If he hasn't given up at this point, he's not going to give up. That Dota Plus is wrong. And Zoomers, I mean, they're going to respect that. Like I said, if you play in NA, you know that you cannot count an Envy team. He's always looking for ways to win. So they're gonna play this pretty safely. You can see they're most likely waiting for the next Roshan.
You know what? I think yesterday you predicted that the game would end at 60. If I recall correctly.
At 63 minutes and 32 seconds.
Yeah. Where do you predict this game? Or when do you predict this game?
This one's going to end at 43 minutes and 64 seconds, which of course would be 44 minutes and 4 seconds.
Okay, so you count it. You're counting in like when Roshan will respawn and Zuber's gonna get that and then try to go for the game.
I do believe that they are going to respect the internal envy factor.
Now for envy. Hold on. He's on top of the high ground though. I think this is a pretty good position for the Bumblebees. They do use the Stone Gaze, and that's exactly what Zoomers wanted to get out of the way. Big team fighting spell for the Bees here. Sammy boy, he's running straight on in as soon as that Stone Gaze ends here. Got another, it's like, oh, call onto Royoya. They're gonna turn onto Royoya. He's still taunting. Holy shit, the damage! He is super dead. He's not empty. Gonna get poked at, but you know what? They're just poking at him. They don't really care about it. They want the rest of the team. That's their main focus. King out, break in, stun, but actually gets a little bit. They actually walk out. Now Envy out of mana. Does have 21 charges and another Mystic Snake available. Gonna use that Minotaur Horn, dodge the unstable concoction, walk away. 4 versus 5. They need to hold against not only 5 of the Zoomer heroes, but also the Mega. Look at King Yao on his Dragon Knight, struggling right now. He does have the other Dragon Form in a second, but he'll get that splash ability, help out Envy to defend these buildings. Sideboy getting his mana drained, does not have another way to get that back. Oh, big fall onto the top horse right now. Flying. Completely picked off. King Yao holds it with the sun onto Sideboy. Nice curse. Gonna hold King Yao in place. Now they're gonna focus him down, and it's just gonna be Envy left. I don't think he's gonna be able to hold this much longer. He's gonna try though. Ooh, buys back. Hitting him, but they're ignoring Envy. Focusing the building. They don't know what to do. They don't have the Sammy boy, he got to get me too. Radiant. That's gonna be it. Zoomers are gonna